Hello, and welcome back to the Nostalgic Futurist podcast. You know, one thing I've learned in trying to start a Disney YouTube channel during a pandemic is that it's really hard to come up with what to talk about. Because I can't afford to go to Disney World, and Disneyland's not open. And all of the advice and tips and tricks and things I've learned over time of going to Disneyland are kind of just moot right now, because when things come back, who knows what life in Disneyland's going to be like, what we can and can't do, how it's going to change wait times and capacity in the park. Like, it's going to be like having to learn all the stuff I ever learned all over again. So today we're going to be talking about the little tidbits of news, because for some reason this last week has been like way more Disney news than the whole pandemic. And we're going to talk about some of the things that are going to probably change what Disneyland looks like for us from here on out. So to start us off with our first headline, I'm going to send it over to the newsroom. Take it away.
This just in. Disneyland Resort sunsets all annual passes. That means that you will never get to go to Disneyland with an annual pass ever again!
She's a bit much, but, kind of what went through my head when I first read the news report, that we were losing annual passes in Disneyland. And yes, they have said that, we're putting the sunset on annual passes, but be ready because there will be some new form of Disneyland membership coming. And so that's led everyone to start speculating, what do you think that they're going to do? They're even canceling the annual pass that lets you go to Disney World and Disneyland. So what is this, membership thing going to look like in the future? And especially with, California having really restrictive guidelines and us finally getting to reopen Disneyland, but then what are the prerequisites that Disneyland has to follow, and for how long? Because the thing is that we're finding out more and more as this pandemic goes on is that things take 1,000 years longer than originally thought, or how fast we'd like them to go. So, are these membership things going to be available when Disneyland first reopens? I think not. But are they going to do something closer to what Universal Studios does, which you can go to Costco and you can buy a 3-day pass, and you have a year to use the 3 days. They do not have to be consecutive, and you go on a calendar ahead of time, just like a Disneyland Flex Pass, and go, is there room? Great, there's room, I can go. And it has blackout dates, which is a lot of what they've been talking about, that the Flex Pass was maybe the, trial run of a new type of membership, where you're not going to have the different tiers of annual pass where it's the SoCal residents can only go this many days a year, and then deluxe can go this many days a year, and then of course the top tier gets you in every single day. Are they going to still have the offer to let people into Disneyland every single day? Because if they don't, there are at least a few people in this world who are going to be very upset. Like that guy who for 8 years went to Disneyland every single day. Good on you, dude. Good on you. So I wanted to just kind of feel out and predict what I think might happen, because unfortunately the only thing I can really make videos on is kind of time capsules, so that, when it's September of 2021 or January of 2022, I can look back and go, I was so stupid. Why did I think that was what was going to happen? Because even looking back now, it's still a big old question mark. So I do think that they're going to bring back a membership thing. I do think it's going to be like a Flex Pass. I do think that it's going to be there are a certain amount of days that are for sure blocked out for you, maybe weekends are always blocked out for you, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then from the dates that you have, so let's say you have the Monday through Thursday pass, then you can go, February 2nd is free, I can go that day. And then you make a reservation, and then Disney has a really good idea of who is showing up to the park each day and how many people, and maybe maybe even they'll include a thing for like what time, so that all the, SoCal residents who are like, I just want to go to Disneyland this evening to go, to Ralph Brennan's and then go ride a few rides, can just say like, hey, I'm planning on coming around 6 p.m. And then Disney goes, okay, so we've got like 100 people coming this evening just to like hang, right? And I think that makes sense. I mean, it makes it easier for Disneyland to measure capacity. And in case in the future we do run into more issues with COVID or with other pandemics, it allows Disney to really keep an eye on like how many people are in the park, who is in the park, for contact tracing purposes, I would think. Because what I'm hearing from people who know more about science than me is that, we're kind of in for it on getting more and more stuff like COVID. And we see how horribly we have handled this first one. So, Another thing I was thinking about was, is it going to be like, let's say Disneyland reopens July 17th, like it intended to this year. It opens July 17th. Yay, it's the 66th anniversary. Happy birthday. Oh my gosh. Order 66. Okay, don't think about that. So that happens, right? And then let's say that when flu season rolls around in October and November, even though we're vaccinated, we somehow find out that the vaccine needs to be put in your arm like once a year or something. And all of a sudden the numbers start spiking, and then the government's like, hey, Disneyland, you got to close down again. Just thoughts. How is that going to work? Because we already watched all those people who had jobs at the restaurants in downtown Disney lose those, and that was very hard to watch and hard to lose. All of outdoor dining in California. Let's head on to our next topic.
So while we're out here having no theme parks open except for like kind of Buena Vista Street, Orlando gets to keep doing construction and even having, hey, we have to halt construction on this. Oopsies, sorry. Well, we don't even get to have anything? It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so recently Disney World kind of laid out all of their construction plans on what's getting delayed and what's not going to make it for the 50th anniversary. And who knows, is the People Mover ever coming back? That kind of stuff. And yeah, I would normally love a construction update. Love them. I'm like, what's happening over with the refurb for Haunted Mansion? How are they redoing Snow White? Is Indiana Jones going to finally get all of the refurb that it needs so desperately? And Avengers Campus, it never looked different enough, so I was always like, why do I care about Avengers Campus construction updates? It looks the same every time. Except for that major jump of when they stopped and then they restarted. But even then, it doesn't look super done. It's just kind of like, twisting the knife with the fact that Disney World's like, yeah, we have some construction that's going to happen, but some of it's being halted. And even though some of it is kind of tragic, like, why are they stopping Tron? Like, keep working on that thing. But Ratatouille's coming out supposedly sometime this year, and, they showed new photos of the Star Wars hotel interiors, and it's just so exciting. One of the things that I thought was really strange, and I get it, like, they have had to really think about where they're going to throw money into construction and where they're going to throw people, because how many people can you have put together on a construction team and all that stuff. But why have we not heard any updates like, hey, Haunted Mansion got new projections installed, or we completely had to stop the Haunted Mansion refurb that was happening because Snow White was more important? I mean, we finally got an update on Snow White, 3 or 4 weeks ago? Whoa, exciting! But what about everything else that was going on in the park at the time of closure or was slated to happen this year? Like Indiana Jones's refurb. Nothing. I have a feeling the answer is just we're doing nothing. Which is just sad because some things really, really need the TLC. And Disney World may have had to cancel some things, but she's sure getting a lot more loving right now than it feels like Disneyland's getting. So, a little jealous there. Why don't you introduce the next topic?
Asian Street Eats has now been removed from in front of the Rainforest Cafe at Downtown Disney. They also said that Sprinkles is closed? For good? Is it closed for good?
So along with many other things that we've lost in Disneyland because of the pandemic, we lost Asian Street Eats this last week from Downtown Disney, which has been a food truck that then became a permanent thing in front of the Rainforest Cafe. I never went there personally, and I thought it was really weird that they would just stick a food truck in front of a building that's that themed. And now there's talk about, will they turn it into the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge store? And I'm like, dang it, you made a point about Galaxy's Edge merch only being sold in Galaxy's Edge. A pandemic shouldn't stop that. There's going to be so much more demand for the stuff when the parks reopen than if you sell it in like a thrown together overnight store in downtown Disney. I mean, I'm sorry, that store is like bad. I mean, it would at least make more sense if they sold it out of the Rainforest Cafe, like gift shop area, and we're like, hey, it's the base on Yavin 4. But what? Oh, I can't. I can't even go in there. It makes me so mad. I'm like, no, stick to your thing. I get it that they've now decided that, we're going to break the timeline of Galaxy's Edge and allow Mandalorian to appear there because there's so much demand for Mandalorian right now. And I'm like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have themed a land in a trilogy that was about to end. I mean, Rise of Skywalker and Rise of the Resistance and Galaxy's Edge itself kind of all happened at the same time. And then I was like, ooh, you guys are really going to hate that you're just tying yourself to that, aren't you? I mean, I get it. Like, maybe they just should do shifts. Like, in the morning, it's prequel time. So, like, you might see Obi-Wan Kenobi and General Grievous walking about. And then in the early afternoon, it's original trilogy time. And you've got Darth Vader walking around with Chewbacca. And then, for a short time in the afternoon, you get Mandalorian time with some Baby Yoda, some Mando, some of that. And then in the evening, it's sequel trilogy time, and we just get a big old lightsaber battle between Rey and Kylo. I don't know. Just thoughts. And if you use it, Disney, please, I would like some royalties or something. I'm just kidding. So, yes, back to Downtown Disney. We've lost Asian Street Eats. Cool. They couldn't survive this. There's been no restaurants in California for 5-6 weeks? And who knows how much longer, because literally you look at the COVID-19 charts and it's like, and you're like, oh, is it gonna hit the top? When does it come down? I'm like, what goes up must come down. We've all been on Twilight Zone. We understand that principle. So who knows? And so I kind of understand a smaller food business in downtown Disney wanting to out of there. But I'm worried. I'm like, are we going to start losing things if we lose Ralph Brennan's Jazz Kitchen? I don't know what I'm going to do. At least they can still sell beignets. It's scary to think about what toll this could, just the restaurant stuff could have on downtown Disney in permanently removing things that we love having there, Fortunately, places like Wetzel's Pretzels and Jamba Juice can do stuff to go, but when I was there, Tortilla Joe's wasn't doing takeout, and Splitsville wasn't doing takeout, and I don't really care about those restaurants quite so much, but I know that places like Naples and Tortilla Joe's and stuff, because they've been there for so long, mean a lot to people. And for me, Jazz Kitchen is life itself. I can't live without Jazz Kitchen. And then that brings us to the other thing, which was Sprinkles. And I've heard both things. I've heard that some people have talked to cast members and said, yeah, Sprinkles is leaving permanently. Other people have it's just a closure until, we get a better idea of what's going on. But some people's downtown Disney experience and even their actual Disneyland experience is gotta have some Sprinkles in it. And I don't know, it's just, even though I don't go to Sprinkles a lot, it's just kind of sad to see people go, no, I like having my cupcake when I get my Starbucks in the morning on the way to Disneyland, or I like when this time when we can't go anywhere else and we can't eat outside, getting a Sprinkles cupcake to go and eat it on the way home. I don't know. It's all just really sad. Back to you.
In better news, it was Downtown Disney's 20th birthday this last week. It's really fun to celebrate your birthday when no one can come and you can't have cake. I mean, you can take it back to your car.
Woo! Downtown Disney's birthday! Another Disney birthday this year that didn't get to get celebrated because nothing was open. You know who was open for their birthday? Disney World. Yeah, I don't have much more to say about it because, like, seeing that 65th annual, 65th birthday. Why do I not know how to say this? 65th birthday of Disneyland merch when it was supposed to reopen on his birthday and then it didn't. It's like, breaking apart here. All right, back to you for our final segment.
The Disneyland Resort will now be a super site for vaccinations for COVID-19. That means that you can go to the Toy Story parking lot at Disneyland and get your vaccine. I'm gonna go right now.
Yeah, you can go get your vaccine at Disneyland, which is smart. I mean, it ties the company to the idea that they are on board to help mitigate the effects of COVID-19, not only from a standpoint of we want our parks open, but also from we love people and we are in the business of making people happy. So, that's cool. I heard somewhere that maybe it's restricted so that they don't get people from everywhere being I want to get my vaccine at Disneyland. But hopefully with the opening of Disneyland as a super site and Dodger Stadium as a super site for vaccines, that maybe we can start getting more vaccines in arms and get back to Disneyland quicker. Which brings me to the idea of, okay, here's my next prediction of when I think Disneyland's going to reopen. I'm going to go with July 17th right now. Yeah, I'm going to go with July 17th. Yeah, I worry because Disneyland and all of us may be ready to open it, but the government of California may not be. And so then that throws a little wrench in what I'm thinking, So, July 17th. Quote me on it. When July 17th rolls around, there's no more Disneyland, you can laugh at me. I promise. It'll be fine. When do I think restaurants will reopen? I heard a rumor from some people that they were thinking March, and I'm like, that's a long time. So, hopefully restaurants will be open by late February, early March. And I'm going to stick with that too. And you can laugh at me when it's late March and we still haven't had restaurants. And in fact, nobody knows what a restaurant is anymore. They're like, you mean the takeout counter? Yeah. So, I'm not going to be doing my podcast quite so often. I mean, it's not even a podcast half the time, but there's not really anything to talk about, and since I don't have the money or I have time to go to Disney World, I kind of want to save making super awesome content for when the parks are reopened, and then you can use all my tips and tricks for how to look at the Indiana Jones line and know when it's actually 30 minutes or when it's not. I have so much stuff to share that beyond just Disneyland history and stuff, and it's everyone's seen history videos, so I think I'm going to go to once a month, maybe less, because honestly, talking about Disneyland is hard. I recently got a TikTok, and when I watch people showing old fireworks shows or playing When You Wish Upon a Star and then showing slow-mo pans of the park, I'm like, I can't do it. It's so depressing. And so even doing these and talking about Disney either just makes me mad or sad. So in the meantime, I highly suggest you check out my new TikTok. I'm wearing this shirt in honor of it because this whole month of January I've been doing challenges where I try to make as many characters as I possibly can from just what I already have in my closet. Now I get to cheat a little bit because I do have a costume design degree, so I already have a lot of costumes, which are usually from thrift stores or given to me for free because people didn't want them anymore, which is kind of one of the most awesome perks of working in a costume shop, and I've worked in 5. So check out my TikTok. It's JanaBanana257, And go ahead, enjoy it. I did one as Walt Disney and one as Tiki Maynard, who's, everyone's favorite cast member. So give that a like, a comment, a follow. Like and subscribe here, and hopefully we'll have better news in the future.